Okay, here we go. Levels.
Levels. Hey, how's your bracket doing?
I don't want to talk about it. How's your bracket doing?
Nah, I don't want to talk about it. Hey, how's Amy's bracket doing?
Oh, Amy is more than willing to talk and talk about her bracket. Yeah. Yeah, Amy did well this year. Yeah. Amy did well this year. Though she didn't win the Braggin' Rights family, the McFamily tournament. So, but she's better than all of us.
Admittedly, low bar.
Toddlers. Welcome to Talking to Todd, a weekly podcast with Dwayne Johnson and Todd Friends, where failure is always an option. Thanks for joining us. Hey, Todd.
Hey, how's it going?
Pretty good. How are you?
Not too bad. Hey, listen, we got some controversial topics this week, and look, I don't want any static from you this week.
Oh, you got a ton of static from me last week, and editing took quite a while because I edited out like 3/4 of it, and you still got what you got.
As I was listening to that, I was even at times hearing you like turn it down, and I'm thinking the correct audio term, if you were trying to take a level and like bury it below another one so it can't be heard, that is called ducking.
Yes.
So you duck the sound.
Yeah.
And my thought was, knowing how much static was recorded and how much work you were doing, I was thinking Dwayne's just like, I can't believe I'm having to do this ducking work.
Yep. I spent a lot of ducking time editing last week.
Funny thing is, just behind the scenes, I get ready to record last week, and I'm like, hey, I'm hearing static, and it's even shown up, and you couldn't hear it on your end
Nope.
at all.
Nope.
And then I'm like, there's still static. And then you rebooted and you plugged stuff in and you tried, and it was like, I think it's good. I don't know. And I kept hearing the static. And then this is what we came up with was, maybe I'm the only one that can hear it. Maybe it's just on my end.
No such luck.
Yeah, that didn't work out that way. So, I mean, I feel good that it wasn't just me, but sorry, it wasn't just me. But anyway, we'll give it a shot, and hopefully this week will be better.
They can't all be winners. Oh, Lord. Feedback, follow-up, and updates?
Yeah.
You got anything?
I do not.
I really don't either.
Oh, I actually have one. Sorry. One came to Jesse, by the way. Oh, this just pains me. I got a message from Jesse.
Yes.
It just had 2 words in it and a crying, smiling emoji. Raising awareness.
Attaway.
Oh, man,
hey, we're doing our part. We're raising awareness. I want to clarify, Sherry High is not a bitch. She's just way better than us.
Yeah, that doesn't qualify as no. That's
no.
Yeah.
Sarah Judson Brown weighed in this week. She was like 4 weeks behind. So tonight she was getting caught up listening to Talking to Todd while she was cooking broccoli, which made me wonder, along the lines of Toddler's 1059 and 1060, if she was cooking to Todd. And she admitted that she was. She also, earlier this week, was watching Red Dead Redemption clips.
Okay.
And the music that was playing back behind, you'll never believe what it was.
Was it our?
She sent it over to me. Hey, I recognize that music. Yep.
Kevin, do we have to do we Kevin?
It's not an
No,
exclusive.
it's non-exclusive. Oh, that's why it was cheap. Oh, yeah. Oh, by the way, okay, sorry, I do have feedback.
Okay.
I have received two. Thanks, Eli. Two Talking to Todd Toddy Award-winning keychains in a padded envelope,
You're welcome.
written on the inside a piece of paper. Written on the piece of paper says "second attempt." I assume that was written in case it once again got derailed by the same machine and the person that found it and they saw second attempt. Oh, they're trying so hard.
Well, I wasn't certain that the second attempt was going to go through. So if I had to send a third attempt, we would be able to distinguish it as to
Yes.
whether it was the second or the third one that actually got to you.
And in which order, if they ever did make it.
Exactly. Yes.
Along the same lines, I also received the official Talking to Todd half marathon liquid nutrition bottle, which says, if found, please return this bottle to the visiting scholar. Our logo, and on the bottom, ... And I said, quote, "Not today, Satan." So thank you for that.
You're very welcome.
It's nice to know that Sherry and I believe Sherry and I now have quasi-matching.
Yes.
Yes. Excellent.
You have complimentary water bottles.
You know what they are? They're within the same. Yes, they're within the same family.
Yes. Yeah.
If you were to do like a makeover and try to make somebody look like they were part of your family on a TV show,
it's us, so it's more like a make do, but
yeah.
And Doug sent me an article about drivers in Chicago who also aren't paying their traffic tickets. Apparently, it's not just people in Eastern Iowa.
It's everybody but you.
It's everybody. Again, I guess I'm the only one that does this. But nothing from toddlers number 1 and 2. So there we are. That's what I got. Oh, okay. So I got 2 more things here. Jake, listener Jake, went to a evening presentation for the Iowa Secretary of Agriculture. Jake works in the Secretary of Agriculture's office. The welcome prayer was given by Mark Felderman.
Hey,
Jake takes a picture of the agenda and texts it to me. Hey, I know that guy. Well, I don't really know him. I just know that he's been referenced on the... Anyway.
Hey, you're the guy from that podcast.
Yeah.
What?
It's semi-famous, I guess. I don't know. Anywho.
You're a recurring character on that podcast I listened to. I didn't know you were real.
I thought you were like Kevin. No, you really do exist.
Oh, yeah. Lost a bet there.
And lastly, I guess I would put this under the category of tell me you listen to Talking to Todd without telling me that you listen to Talking to Todd.
Okay.
I posted on Facebook, as I always do, that we had released a new episode.
Yes.
John Baldwin, his comment, levels. That's it. Nothing else. Yep.
And sweeping the country. Yeah. We're just...
And then John called me and we talked this week. I don't know. We probably talked for 40 minutes this week, but much of the conversation was about what a terrible movie American Underdog is. Can I tell you what an awful movie American Underdog is? Do I need to go into detail or are we good?
I think we're good.
Okay.
I think we've covered that on multiple episodes. So yeah.
And specifically, footnote, if you want to know the first episode where we detailed all of the things wrong with American Underdog, that would be episode 98, Mega Power Frunk. So, with special guest Ward Lenz.
I like to think of it as the one where Dwayne lost his damn mind.
that was the one. I think you may need to be a little more specific.
Oh no, you were downright angry in that one. When I have gone on tirades and been angry, you cut them out because they're not good. They never see the light of day, and you're the only one that gets to hear it because it's just anger and there's no funny thing about it. Yours was angry and it was awesome, so it needed to stay in.
Well, except for the episode where I believe you got so angry it made you stupid.
Well, there is that, yes. Yeah.
What did you bring for follow-up?
Everything.
Okay.
I brought a lot. We've got quite a bit of follow-up. We can go back and forth here. Let me hit on some high points. Hey, we talked about how Newark signed a sister city agreement with a fake country.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. So the guy who has been quote unquote running this scam, which also is a sort of religious thing that maybe, according to people who have left, is also a cult. Anyway, he's been doing this for like 20 years. Newark isn't the only city that he has scammed. His country has received a letter of support from Canadian Prime Minister Justin Trudeau for their Hindu Heritage Month celebration. They received a certificate of special recognition from California Representative Norma Torres and a Kalisa's SPH Nityananda Day in Richmond, Virginia. Earlier this month, its representative spoke at 2 meetings of a United Nations conference in Geneva, though the gatherings were open to the public and the UN said it would ignore their comments. Even after the Sister City program was exposed in Newark, it continued elsewhere. On March 14th, the group signed a cultural agreement with Freetown, the capital and largest city in Sierra Leone. At this point, according to the Intelligencer, close to 30 U.S. cities, have signed some sort of acknowledgement of Kilisa. Basically, what they're pointing out, let's see. Oh, in 2021, the mayor of Fall River, Massachusetts signed a proclamation establishing a Kalalisa Day on January 3rd, 2022, with the text of the letter written largely by the group itself. It turns out that cities will put proclamations for just about anything, including a non-existent country. I'm thinking if this were Oliver's show with HBO money, Talking to Todd would be getting proclamations everywhere.
Oh.
But we don't have his money or his staff or really his amount of energy. So that's probably not going to happen, but I could see it happening.
We could use a legit intern. It's what we could use.
Could somebody start writing letters? We could just hire ChatGPT. Don't send pictures.
Don't, please.
Let's see. Okay, so that was my first one. What have you got?
Did you see, I think this was both in Variety and in Broadway News, they are going to produce a Broadway musical of Smash.
So when we talked about Smash, we talked about that there was going to be a musical. So the question is, are they producing Smash, the show that was referenced in the TV show Smash, or are they producing a show that is the TV? It is telling this TV show tale, which is the behind the scenes of it.
Or are they producing the actual Marilyn Monroe musical that they were producing on?
Yeah, that was are they producing the actual?
No, it is a recreation of the behind the scenes look of how a musical gets made,
Mm,
specifically the Marilyn Monroe musical.
got it.
It is going to depart some from what I guess would be considered smash canon.
That's not a thing.
That's not a thing. Okay, okay, I didn't know. I thought maybe it was a thing. Okay,
I'm not a
clearly,
smash head though, like you are, so I don't know.
thanks. Anyway, this is apparently going to be a thing produced by Steven Spielberg, so it's going to be fabulous.
Okay. Let's see. My next one. Oh, read this week that we talked about how marathons and races not measuring correctly
Yeah,
is more common than we expected.
yeah.
Dateline Milwaukee.
Hello.
This week, the Milwaukee Marathon was canceled yet again, this time due to weather concerns. So they've been running this since they started in 2015. They have only held it 4 times in that time period, and of those 4, only 2 of them have gone off without a hitch. In 2023, they announced with 49 days notice, "Hey, we're going to have a marathon," which isn't a lot of time.
No.
Apparently, it wasn't enough time for them to figure out how to run a marathon because after they announced it, somewhere in the middle of it, they announced, "Yeah, we can't do that. So we'll do a 5K or a half marathon." Then a snowstorm showed up, and 21 hours before it was supposed to start, they had to send out an email saying, "Yeah, we can't run this. We'll sort out refunds, or if you're going to count this as a donation or something later." More than 1,000 people had registered. This is not this is not the worst problem that they've had though. In 2020, 2021, and 2022 was canceled due to COVID. 2019 was a perfectly fine year. The Milwaukee Bucks were a sponsor, went off without a hitch. 2015, apparently it also went off without a hitch. 2017, it was also canceled because of management issues. 2018. In 2016, the second year of the race, it turns out after people finished that somebody figured out that the course was a little more than a half mile too long.
Oh,
So for everybody that ran 26.2 miles, well, what's 0.2, 0.7, 0.8? I don't know. Whatever. So if in 2016 they mismeasured the course and made it too long, do you want to guess what happened in 2017?
did they balance it out? Was it a half mile too short?
It wasn't a half mile, but it was too short. Back to back years. Anybody got a tape? Get a measuring tape? So anyway, Milwaukee Marathon, and marathons in quotes.
Clearly.
Yeah. So it's tough to put on a race. Yeah. Let's see. What else do you got?
This was several months ago that one of the idiots that I brought, Jack Daniels, was suing the poop themed dog toy.
Yes.
You remember this?
Unfortunately, I do.
Old number 7, bad spaniel, 43% poo, right? Well, that lawsuit made it to the Supreme Court last week.
Of course it did.
Yep. No reasonable person would confuse the toy with Jack Daniels, right? However, as for the justices, they were all over the place. Alito and Sotomayor both asked questions about how the First Amendment right to free speech intersects with trademark laws. These two are not normally on the same page. Assume, Sotomayor asks, that someone used a political party logo and created a t-shirt with a picture of an obviously drunk elephant. Remember, this is arguments at the Supreme Court. An obviously drunk elephant and a message that says, "Time to sober up, America," and then sells it on Amazon. Isn't that message protected by the First Amendment?
Then she said parenthetically, Just asking for our friend.
Ask. Elena Kagan didn't find the dog toy remotely funny. This is a standard commercial product. This is not a political t-shirt. It's not a film. It's not an artistic photograph. It's none of these things. What's more, she said, I don't see the parody, but whatever.
If it pleases the court, whatever.
She just Gen X'd the Supreme Court. Whatever.
Okay, boomers.
Anyway, a little follow-up there on the Jack Daniels pooptacular. I don't know, whatever that is.
Quite a while ago, we had Greg on, and he talked about his summer as a Amazon driver.
Yes.
And sort of regaled us with what it takes to be an Amazon delivery driver. I don't think he told us this kind of story out of Raleigh, North Carolina. A recent video had, in a cul-de-sac, police had surrounded a house and had a barricade for reasons that aren't clear. Anyway, an Amazon driver pulls up, grabs the package out, and walks through the police lines to deliver a package to the house that they have surrounded. The Amazon worker in the video, the Amazon worker is seen toting a small box up the driveway where the apparent standoff is taking place, taking officers by surprise. Never a good thing. As soon as they see him, they tell him to stop and take the package off his hands before he calmly walks back to his car. After quickly taking a picture of the scene. Delivered. Anyway, there you go. Those packages have to be delivered.
Neither rain, nor sleet, nor snow,
nor SWAT.
Nor SWAT. Apparently, that's how the poem goes.
Yeah.
Little.
Yeah. So anyway, there you go. Amazon. That's one thing that Greg held out from us talking about.
We've talked on several occasions about Bobby Bonilla Day.
Yes.
Do you know who the fourth highest paid player this year on the Cincinnati Reds is going to be?
Shotzi?
No.
Quick footnote for people who don't follow baseball. Marge Schott used to own the Reds. She wasn't a great person. She had I believe, St. Bernard, who she named Shotzi, who, according to some stories, was treated much better than any of the players while Marge Schott was the owner of the team. Anyway, please continue. Bobby Bonilla?
Not Bobby Bonilla, but in a very Bonilla-esque move, Ken Griffey Jr., who hasn't stepped foot on a field in uniform in over 10 years. He's going to make $3.6 million this year from the Reds, making him the fourth highest paid player for the Cincinnati Reds.
Given the Reds' recent record, him not stepping on the field in 10 years makes him the fourth highest paid player and yet the best player on the Reds. And I'm not saying when he played. I am saying retired. He is the best current Reds player.
Yep. Joey Votto and Will Myers are the only current Reds who will make more. They're also paying Mike Moustakas $22 million that was outstanding on his contract when they released him back in January.
We don't want you to play with us so bad. We will write a check for $22 million for you to leave us alone.
Anywho, so there's that.
By the way, final piece of follow-up, because this is apparently is also one of our beats that we cover. The two fishermen in Ohio who were charged in the cheating scandal.
Oh, yes. They shoved weights down the fish's throat.
And other pieces of fish.
Oh, yes.
In addition.
Yes, because those won't show up on an X-ray. Yeah, yes. Sure. Okay.
So both of them have now pled guilty for cheating and unlawful ownership of wild animals during the Lake Erie Walleye Trial Tournament. according to the Cuyahoga County prosecutor, Michael C. O'Malley, in a statement on Monday, quote, "This plea is the first step in teaching these crooks two basic life lessons. Thou shalt not steal, and crime doesn't pay." And then he threw on his Ray-Bans and drove off in his Miata convertible. Okay, I maybe made those last two pieces up. Anyway, they face 6 months to a year in prison and could have their fishing licenses suspended for up to 3 years. However, the state is recommending a sentence of 6 months of probation to the court. They will be sentenced on May 11th, which means there's at least one more chance for follow-up on this. All right, we're halfway through the show, and I think we've just wrapped up follow-up. What do we got?
Let's put a bow on the NCAA tournament bracket challenge.
Might as well. I mean, the tournament's not over, but our bracket is.
Chad Hippen was the big winner, I guess. I mean, do you really win anything? You mostly win bragging rights around here. But he's going to get a very nice keychain.
Maybe.
Well, if if I package it correctly,
yeah,
and put the right amount of postage on it, he might maybe hopefully get a keychain at some point. Congratulations, Chad.
Congratulations, Chad, for winning the bracket. Not that I'm angry or anything. I did want to call out, we talked about Mark Felderman earlier. By the way, I want to call out, I want to give a special shout out to Felderman because he called that the South Regional Final was going to be San Diego State versus Creighton.
Wow.
He called that final on his bracket. Now, he did have Creighton advancing, which is why he finished behind Amy. But that's incredible. Who picks the 5-6 matchup of SDSU and Creighton to come out of the South bracket, toppling Alabama? Way to go, Mark.
And I guess the last thing in this category, I'm sure everybody was curious as to how the official Talking to Todd entry based on distance, how that turned out.
I mean that's a ludicrous way of picking winners. How could that have? I'm assuming that had to have finished dead last, correct?
Out of 18 brackets,
yes,
it finished 16th, ahead of Greg High and John Brown. Good work, guys. And I also have to say, there was a point last weekend where if Texas had made it to the finals, the official Talking to Todd bracket would have won. It would have leapt from 16th into first place and bested Chad. Anyhow, congratulations, Chad Hippen, and everybody who participated. Thanks, everybody.
There was also a point last weekend where Jake and I were tied in the 5th spot.
Mm-hmm.
And our only way of leapfrogging, our only way of winning, we had both picked Gonzaga. We were going to finish 5th unless Gonzaga made it to the final and won. That was our only way of winning. And then I realized if that happens, it literally is going to come down to the tie break.
Ooh.
I should have put some more thought into that number I put in there. Turns out Gonzaga didn't win by a lot, so that never came to pass. But for a little while there, I was like, really? Really, the tie break. Congratulations, Chad, and way to go, Mark.
Let's see. New business opportunity. We haven't done one of these in a while.
Ooh, yeah.
Did you see the Washington Commanders are for sale?
Yes. Yes. Are you thinking we need to buy them?
Yeah, I mean, it only takes $6 billion.
Okay. Well, technically, at this point, it sounds like 6 billion and 1.
Yeah. Yes. Yeah.
Because apparently there are multiple bids for 6 billion.
Yeah. You know what? If you bring the 6 billion, I'll bring the 1.
Well, that sounds fair.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, okay.
Well, you do 98% of that work, and I'll do 98% of the other.
Okay. All right. So I watched a video of a guy that we watch on YouTube. He showed his first. He did a project back in 2004 where he wanted to get an iPod, but because 2004 iPods were very expensive, I think it was 250 pounds because he lived in London. He did a thing, and this is before YouTube and viral videos. So he kind of had a blog, and it just kind of had to be word of mouth. He just needed 50 pence from 500 people to buy an iPod. Took him 14 months, I think, 7 months. He did. He got the money and he got the iPod, and then made a video of going to buy the iPod, and then he threw a party. He invited all 500 people who donated 50 pence. He threw a party to show off the iPod, and he made a costume, like person size of an iPod, and served cake, which was probably about as expensive as the iPod. Anyway, the money doesn't make sense. So, okay, listen, toddlers, we need 6 billion. Okay. No one in our audience, care this. If every listener kicks in about $1 billion, we can make this happen. Maybe.
Even if we divide it by the nearly 5,000 downloads.
Yes. On the other hand, by the way, here's the problem. If we get this,
yeah,
then we own the Washington Commanders.
Oh, I see a flaw here.
Which means we have to root for them.
Yeah, there's, yep. Okay, that's 3 minutes we're not getting back. Okay,
no.
Yep, you've clearly exposed the flaw in the plan.
I just saved us $6 billion. You're welcome.
Good work. Thanks, Todd. Good work out of you. Excellent. Yep. What do we have under Todd's Tech Corner as brought to us by the Taylor Center for Technology Policy?
Really quick, Apple this week issued updates on everything that they've released, including phones, tablets, computers, HomePods, Apple TV, Apple Watches. Mm-hmm. Studio Display got a software update. The only thing I think that didn't get an update was if you have a MagSafe charging puck, I don't believe those got an update. By the way, those have firmware in them and can be updated, and they are. Anyway, as with all the Apple stuff, there's some new features because this is 16.4, but it also has security features. And now with Apple updates, like as soon as those go out, then those fix scary things. So just update. If you update your phone, top things you will see. Realistically, the biggest thing, I think there's 21 new emoji. Woo! Okay. There's an enhanced podcast app. I don't know. I don't use that one. Voice isolation for phone calls, which they already do for FaceTime and Zoom calls and everything to shut out the background noise. They got around to applying it to old style phone calls.
Yeah.
There's a new HomeKit architecture. Not anybody cares. And if you're on T-Mobile, they do better 5G support, but it's turned off by default. I don't. What are you doing? Like, hey, we provided something better. Did you turn it on? No. Where do I find it? It's 6 layers deep. Anyway, if you got T-Mobile, the cellular plan, turn some stuff on. Ask Dwayne. He'll get the details to you. Anyway, update.
I got an email this week from Marriott.
Ooh, yeah.
Friday, March 24th. Subject line: 4 tips for protecting your account, Dwayne. Stay one step ahead. Keep your account safe. Marriott Bonvoy cares about protecting your data and privacy, and the key to protection from increasing cybercrime. Oh, crap, my password's been stolen.
My password.
We've covered enough of these on this podcast to know that an email like that doesn't go out from a company unless something happened about 6 weeks ago.
We care about cybersecurity now. Not then. Now.
Anywho, I suppose that probably could have also gone under follow-up, but I thought it was more appropriate under Tech Corner. Update your passwords. Hey, how's your LastPass update coming? Are you out of there yet?
Oh, I think I've made it about 30% of the way through.
Okay, good.
I got a lot of
Excellent.
passwords. It's got a lot.
Oh, hey, it's time for idiots. Well, it could be time for idiots. It could also be. You thought you were going to get away with it, didn't you?
Really did.
It's not fair to deny me all the cross I bear. I check it to me. You ought to know.
Hey, Todd.
Yeah.
So I read an article this week about how Caitlin Clark, the star basketball player for the University of Iowa,
Yes.
is bringing in nearly $1 million in NIL money.
Okay.
And I thought, that's a lot of money.
I mean, to be honest, it's not alleged racist strength and conditioning coach on the football team kind of money, but it's pretty good money.
But it's right. But it's pretty good money. And I thought to myself, I wonder if that's more or less money than women make in the WNBA on an annual basis.
Okay.
Todd,
Yes.
this is a series of things that we've talked about. We've talked about salaries in women's sports versus men's sports and on before. We'll give you a softball here. We'll give you a softball here to start out with.
Okay.
Highest. Why are you making notes?
That's for later.
Sugar. Okay, sounds good. We'll give you a softball to start out with.
Okay.
Highest paid player in the W. Yes, please go ahead.
I was just going to say, if this is Todd ought to know, I will say I know that the WNBA does not play softball; they play basketball. Was that not it?
That was not it. No.
Damn.
No.
Okay.
Okay. So
right.
Easy one to start out with.
Okay.
Highest paid player in the NBA, more or less than $1 million for this coming season
In the WNBA?
in the WNBA.
I will say less.
You would be correct. Do you know who it is?
Does Cheryl Miller still play basketball?
Maybe, but not professionally in the WNBA.
All right. Okay. I do not know who it is.
Jackie Young for the Las Vegas Aces. In your sphere of influence.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah.
I mean,
professional teams in Las Vegas, dead to me. Anyway, go ahead.
Do you know how much she's going to make?
I'll say 450. Wait, no. 375.
Decrease it by that amount again.
Oh, okay. So 300.
$252,000. Yeah.
Highest paid player.
The highest paid player. Now, that's an average for a multi-year contract. So she got a multi-million-dollar contract, but that's what she's making.
You sign a 20-year deal, you can if you sign a Bonilla deal, you can get a multi-million-dollar contract.
But here's the thing. If you take the top 4 paid players in the WNBA this year and you add them all up,
yes,
you still don't get to $1 million.
So at this point, Caitlin Clark needs to stay in college as long as she possibly can to make the money, because once she leaves college, she's going to have to take a massive pay cut.
Because the average salary in the WNBA, the average salary is $102,751. Stay in school, kids. Stay in school. the 36-year-old WNBA icon, Candace Parker.
Yes.
She's going to play for the Aces. All-time, all WNBA Candace Parker. You know what she's making this year?
$102,000.
Hold on, I got to go find the bell. $100,000. Very good. You did go over though, Bob.
Yeah, but I hit the average number. She's being paid below average.
Yeah. And the focus of a lot of attention in the last year, Brittany Griner.
Yes.
She's got a 3-year deal worth, do you know this? Do you know this number?
No, I do not.
$664,544. She's not even in the top 20 players. Anyway, I thought those are numbers that we've kind of talked about other things before. I thought those are numbers that you probably ought to know. One of them you did.
I'll take it.
What's next?
Well, we got rid of that idiot. I guess we're on to the rest of the idiots now. By the way, that idiot was me. Let's see. Oh, so for idiots of the week this week, this story was making the rounds about 2 weeks ago. News broke that the WWE is in talks with multiple state gaming boards to legalize sports betting on WWE events.
Excuse me?
Have you found the problem with this?
Here's the thing. Incredibly athletic.
Yep.
But honestly, about as real as the NBA.
Yeah, they should go with that argument. What they are arguing, reportedly, because no one's talking about this on the record, what they are arguing is, yes, their matches are scripted. Yes, people would know the scripts. But in their argument, some states allow sports betting on the Oscars, and those results are known ahead of time to Ernst & Young, I believe. So they are talking with E&Y that once the scripts are written, that the WWE would hand them over to E&Y, and Ernst & Young or E&Y or whatever they're called would keep them under lock and key, just like the Oscars results, so that the betting would be fair.
Well, except the athletes know what the script says. Unless you're going to have them wrestle and wrestle and wrestle and wrestle, and then at one point, stop, open the envelope, and then finish the match.
That would be awesome. My other thought would be, you watch one really big sweaty dude pick up another big sweaty dude above him, and then stop and yell, "Line!"
What am I supposed to do here?
Yeah. They are targeting Michigan, Colorado, and Indiana as potential states to pursue legalization. They are trying to work on this, that they could finalize the script. They're talking about that they would change their process. WWE executives have proposed that the scripted results of matches be locked in months ahead of time, so that then there's lots of time for betting. And the wrestlers themselves wouldn't know whether they were winning or losing until shortly before a match takes place. They could lock the results of WrestleMania's main event in months ahead of time based on a scripted storyline that hinged to the winner of January's Royal Rumble. So then betting on the match could start as soon as the Royal Rumble, which itself would be scripted. As soon as Royal Rumble finished, then betting could open. And seriously, nobody involved in writing the scripts and the storylines would use any of that insider information to make any money or anything else. I'm just thinking that the fact that they're pursuing this, my thought would be cool. So then, like, the next up is like, and I know this is showing my age, like cool. So then do we get to figure out like which character dies next on Grey's Anatomy? Like, are we running that as a sports book? Like, what? Anyway, the fact that this is even going anywhere is, on the other hand, to your point, they allow betting on the NBA. So what are you going to do? Anyway, congratulations. Here's the thing. WWE's the idiot for asking. The bigger idiots seem to be the state gaming boards who are like, well, it sounds crazy, but we're willing to make a buck. Tell us more. How about you?
No,
What'd you
no,
think?
not so fast. Not so fast. Yeah. Let's at least talk about this.
I mean, we get a cut of this, right? Yes, let's think about this. I'm sure this money goes to education. It's for the children.
It's for the kids. Oh, I brought my standard 3. The Hall of Slain Warriors.
Okay.
Sport Track.
Yep.
And size does matter.
So here's the thing. I look at this and like, yeah, number 1, not going to go there. 2, that looks like soccer to me. That would be unpopular. So we'll go with number 3. Size does matter.
So this actually, the story is about soccer.
No, I tried to avoid it.
You're welcome. Stan Kroenke.
Yep. Damn. This was a Dwayne Guess the Number fodder for next week or 2 weeks from now.
He built a $5.5 billion stadium, right?
Beautiful stadium. The nicest stadium in the U.S. now.
Yes.
You know what? That is so nice with the World Cup coming in 2024. You would probably you could hold like the final of the World Cup and show off the best stadium in the entire country to the worldwide audience by holding the World Cup final there.
You would think so now, wouldn't you?
Yeah. I mean, why not? I mean, it's a brand new stadium that was just built. I mean, this would be state of the art for soccer.
Except it only holds 70,000 people when it's full for a football game. Do you know what they have to do when they turn that football field into a soccer pitch?
Remove some seats?
Yeah, they have to widen the field by about 63 feet. But to do that, they have to remove seats. Do you know what the target size of a stadium is for a World Cup final? This is not Todd Guess the Number. This is
175,000.
It's 80,000 seats.
Yeah.
They don't get there. They don't even get there in a football configuration. But they knew what these expectations were before the stadium was even built. Do you know why? Of course you know why. Do you know why? Do you want to tell everybody why?
Well, I mean, Stan Kroenke also owns football teams.
Yes.
I mean, he owns American football teams. He also owns soccer football teams. Multiple.
This isn't news to anyone. He can't claim to be caught unaware that these are expectations. This is a guy that has been doing this for a long time at a very high level. So, yeah, congratulations. SoFi sits just over 70,000 people for Rams games. This would be well underneath that. I don't know where they're actually going to play it. Not thinking it's going to be there.
Okay, we're going to need some folding chairs and we're going to be selling some really expensive seats. You're on the pitch.
That's what I got. Congratulations, Stan Kroenke. You're idiot of the week.
By the way, Stan, if you want to buy this podcast and kill that story, we're open. I'm telling you, we're...
I'll sell it for $6,000,000,001.
We're open on the one.
Yeah, I think I can cover that.
We got some movement on the one.
Oh, you watch anything good this week?
Real quick, we're just continuing to watch Ted Lasso and Mandalorian.
Yep, that's what we're watching. I'm also watching Kunk on Earth, and I started watching. Have you watched QI?
No.
It's another British quiz game.
Yes.
Comedy quiz game.
Yes.
Yeah. It's good to fall asleep to.
The inherent problem with watching British comedy quiz shows is that, like any good comedy, there's most of the funny things involve references to stuff that I don't know. I mean, not that all comedy is stuff I don't know, but then they like throw out somebody, and I'm just like, everybody's laughing and dying on the set, and I look at Lisa, what? And she's like, British politician from the mid 70s caught in a sex sting. Oh, that's pretty fun. And they've already moved on.
They did one on trains, though, that I thought you'd enjoy.
Ooh.
Yeah.
Ooh.
Yeah. See?
Oh, that's awesome.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah. Yeah. Did you learn anything good?
Yeah. So I'm gonna change this up here. I'm just gonna call this out. I had a Todd oughta know, an actual Todd oughta know in real time with Lisa this week. We've been doing some planning for some travel, and I've been looking at European train timetables, ridiculous amounts of European train timetables. And at one point I was explaining to Lisa what it was that I was looking at. I showed her, she's like, show me your spreadsheet. And I showed it to her. She goes, what is this? And I'm like, well, this is the way I figured this out. She goes, none of this makes any sense. I'm like, welcome to Todd's mind. And she's like, can you do this in the way that I organize our trips? And I'm like, sure. So now the shared spreadsheet has plans, and then the other tab is called Todd's mind. And she has vowed never to go there ever again because none of it makes any sense. That is not what I learned.
I could have told her that, but okay, sure. Yeah.
Don't go in there. Just let the process happen. And then just at the other end. Anyway, at one point I was explaining a lot of different train options. And I'm like, look, there's Amsterdam and there's Brussels and then there's this trip or whatever. And then I'm like, and I'm just kind of looking at all of these things and I'm trying to like, and at one point I'm like, and, I mean, one of the other ways we could get there is like this train it goes to Brugge. She goes, Brugge? And I'm like, yeah. And she goes, you mean Bruges?
Sure.
I mean, if that's the way you want to pronounce it,
can you,
with the way the rest of the world does,
can you also take the train to Juventus? You've been hanging around me too long.
You got to catch it in Madrid, and then take it up to Brugge. Oh, that was. And all I heard in the back was, you ought to know. And I was just, that was. Anyway, so there was that. That's what I learned this week, is that I needed to slow down reading all of the names and then not double down when I made a mistake. How about you? What did you learn?
There was a group in Des Moines over the weekend that played at Hoyt Sherman, which is a really old museum and house and theater, and anyway, nonprofit theater that they bring in some nice acts, fun things. This group came in and they played hardcore rock and roll, and they go by the acronym RHCP. Are you familiar with this band, RHCP?
You know what? Doesn't come up on my playlist of Mark Cohn, like Apple Radio.
They were really big in the late 80s and early 90s.
Red Hot Chili Peppers?
Yes, except this is Red Hot Chili Pipers, and it's a group of bagpiping musicians that played rock and roll. And I had no idea that this was even a thing. That's what I learned this week. I've broken him.
I am both horrified and currently looking to see if they're anywhere near the undisclosed location.
The music is Happy Boy by Kevin MacLeod. You can subscribe to our award-winning podcast wherever you get your pods. Just search Talkin' and the number 2, Nogino Space. You can tweet us on Facebook. You can check out our award-winning merch on Zazzle. You can stop by and see us at the Tuba City home office. Please don't do that. Thanks to our listeners. As always, thanks to our listeners and our sponsors, Toddler 3187, the Taylor Center for Technology Policy, and DJ to Go Cedar Valley, who doesn't pay their speeding tickets. If you'd like to send us feedback, follow-up, or updates, anything you'd like us to cover, send them to feedback@talkingtotodd.com. Todd?
I mean, you're lucky because, I mean, they've only got a couple of US dates, and then they're in Dublin and Belfast and the UK, and then Cincinnati, and then back to Germany. Hey, they're in Brugge. I should go.
He is fixated, folks. Red Hot Chili Peppers broke him. Whatever it was that he was going to embarrass me with, derailed. It's gone. That means we're probably going to have to clean it up next week. We'll be back. We're here. We're talking to Todd.
Not a single date in Scotland, but 16 in Germany. You know how those Germans love their bagpipes and Red Hot Chili Peppers.